welcome to Clappia. This video will show you how to make apps using Clappia, but before stepping into the workings of the platform, let me help you understand what Clappia is all about. It is a no-code platform for making applications and is especially useful in internal business processes. For example, you can make attendance trackers, schedule tasks, have inventory management apps, CRMs, and much more. The best part is that it is simple to use and you can create it in 4 simple steps. The first step is using the pre-coded blocks that you can drag and drop and customize according to your requirements. The second step is setting the workflow of your app. If you need your data to be sent as a notification or alerts, or maybe to relevant people for approvals, you can set such rules. The next step is configuring your dashboards. You can have charts for analysis and automated reports to receive data. The final step is seeing your app in an instant. When you finish creating or editing your app, it instantly becomes live and ready to use, either on the web or on the mobile version. You can download the Clappia app via Play Store or App Store, and it'll be ready to use once you open it. Now let's go ahead and see how to start building your apps. If you haven't signed up to Clappia yet, you can do so by clicking on the button over here on the website. Once you sign up, your workplace will get created. For example, mine says xyzcompany.clappia.com. You can give in your company name or your own preference. Anytime you sign in, you will be redirected to your dashboard, which will look like this. Here all the apps you create will reside. Let's get started in creating an app. The first thing you'll have to do is click on New App. You will be taken to the design view where you can create or design your app. I will take a simple example of an app that will cover the important features in Clappia. So say for example I have field officers going for a site visit and need to capture some information. First thing I will do is to give a name to this app. Over here I will type in field visit. Next I will click on Add Section. And for this section, I can give a name on the right-hand panel over here under section name. So say employee details. When I click on save, you can see that employee details has now appeared over here. You can add multiple sections to your app by clicking on add section. In the employee details section, I will click on add field. And you can see that there are various pre-coded blocks that you can use to capture data for your app. For a more detailed look into the configuration of each of these blocks, you can check out our other videos for each of them. Now for the employee details section, if you want to capture certain information like name or email ID, you can use the single line text block. This block is very useful for capturing short text or information, and it can be configured on the right hand panel over here. So I'll just change the label into name. I click on save, and now to capture the email ID, again I will select the single line text block and change the label to email. You can also go to the advanced option, and if you want a user to input only a valid email ID and not any other text, you can set a validation rule for email. You can also add phone numbers to your app by clicking on the phone number block. You can also select your default country code by clicking on the option over here. Next, we have a very useful feature, which is the code scanner block. This code scanner block can scan both QR codes as well as barcodes. If you want to scan an employee ID which is embedded in a QR code, you can use this block. So over here, I will type in scan employee ID. For the advanced option, I can disable the option to allow a user to input the code manually because I want them to make a scan, and I can click on save. Next, I will add another section to capture the visit details. So under the section name, I will change this to visit details. Click on save. Now if I want to capture the date of the visit, I can use the date selector block, and on the right hand side I can change the label to date, go to the advanced option, and if I want the system to automatically capture the current date, I can enable this option. If I don't want any changes to be made by a user, I can disable these options. Similarly, we also have the time block, and I can change the label to time, go to the advanced option and enable default to current time, and I can disable changes to be made by user. Next, you can also have a drop-down option where you can select a certain option from a list of options, or you can use a single selector block. For example, if I want to know the purpose of visit is either visiting an individual or maybe a business meeting, then I can add options over here. So for the label, I will type in purpose of visit, and I can give the options over here as individual or business. You can see that I have mentioned them one after the other, and keeping in mind that there are no spaces after each word. Now I can click on save. Similarly, you can add other features to your app such as ratings or counters, but that all depends on your requirements. Now coming to some interesting features that you can add to your app, which is the camera, image and files. This block is useful for uploading images, videos or some documents. You can also take photos in real time. So over here for the label, I will change this to take photo. And when I go to the advanced options, you can see allowed file types. When I click on this, you can see the different types of uploads that you can do. So if I want to only take a photo in real time, I can select this option. You can also set the number of files that can be uploaded in an app, and you can set the image quality. Next, we have the GPS location block. This GPS location block is very useful if you want to capture the location at which a user is submitting information. So over here in the advanced options, if you want the system to automatically capture the current location, you can keep this as enabled. Or if you want them to manually change it, you can enable this option as well. We also have the option of geofencing. So if a person is at a certain distance away from the site location, maybe say 50 meters away, and you still want them to be able to submit the information, you can enable this option. If you would like to have a better understanding on how to configure the GPS location block or even for geofencing, you can check out our videos for them. Now I'll click on save. We also have the option of live tracking, so you can know the exact starting point and end point of which a person has traveled, and you can also see the route that they have taken. You can also add a signature block to your app. Now I'll add another section that says product details. Click on save. In Clappia, you can implement calculations and logic. So I will take a simple example of calculating the total price of a product. So over here, I will add a single line text for capturing the quantity. So I'll change the label to quantity. Click on save. I'll add another single line text for capturing the price. To implement calculations, I will click on add field and then click on calculations and logic. If you have worked with spreadsheets earlier, you would have come across implementing various types of calculations and certain types of logic like if, else, or, etc. The same can be done in Clappia as well. We share a similar library. But in place of cell numbers, we have the concept of variable names, which you can find at the top of every field in brackets. These variable names are very important for calculations and logic purposes. So over here under label name, I will change it to total price, and you can implement the calculations under formula. So to get the total price, it will be quantity into price. So over here, I will type in @quantity into @price. Now I click on save. You can implement complex calculations as well as logic in Clappia. So for example, if the quantity is less than 2, then you do not want to give any discount. But if it is 2 or more, then you would like to give a discount of a certain amount. For that, I'll click on add field again and click on another calculations and logic block. Here I will mention discounted price, and for the formula I will type in if @quantity is less than 2, then show no discount, else if it is 2 or more, then show quantity into price minus 500. Now I'll click on save. So here you can see that I have used the if condition. You can also implement logics for your fields. For example, over here, since we have the purpose of visit block, if the purpose of visit is business, only then would you like the signature block to appear. But if the purpose of visit is individual, then you do not need the signature block. For this, over here, I can click on the signature block, go to the advanced option, and we see display this field if. Again, over here, you can implement calculations and logic. So over here, I will type in @purpose equals to business. Now I'll click on save. Now let's see some more advanced features. I click on add field. We have a unique numbering block in which you can add prefixes and unique codes for your submissions. We also have get data from other apps. Now if you have multiple apps created in your workplace in Clappia and you want to interlink them, so if you have certain information that you want to pull from one app into this app, you can use the get data block. Now I have already created an app earlier from which I want to pull information from, so let me just show you that really quickly. So here I have the product MIS app from which I want to pull information from. You can see that I have the fields of product type, brand, quantity, price, ratings, and the product image. So I want to interlink this product MIS app with my current app. So let's see how to do this. Over here under the label, I will just type in product search. For the data source app, since it's called product MIS, I will type in product MIS and select that option. Now you can see some more fields have appeared over here. Under selection fields, the fields that I want to search with, I will click over here and you can see the fields of the product MIS. So I will select product type and brand with which I want to search with. Next, we have pulled fields based on the selection. So based on the search criteria, I want to pull certain fields. which would be brand, user ratings, and product image. Now I can click on save. You can see the brand, user ratings, and product image has appeared over here. So this is the first step of creating your app. Let's go to the next step. You can select your app icon by either clicking the options over here or uploading your own icon. You can also select different statuses, for example, per submission. If you want to have an approval or a rejection of the submission, you can add a status over here and type in approved, add another status, and over here you can type in rejected. Now I'll save these statuses. We also have print settings where you can set PDF by clicking on add print template. Over here you can give a template name, and when you click on the button over here, you can set your PDF. You can enable headers or footers, and in the main body you can type in some text. You can also insert images, you can insert certain tables. You can also pull information from your variable name such as @name, and then we can click on save. This print setting is very useful if you want to create email templates or maybe some checklists, work orders, purchase orders. It all depends on your requirements. You can also enable Google Sheets or Drives, so every submission will get synced to your Google Sheets or Google Drive. Similarly, you can have a database integration. Next, we go to the workflows. Workflows is important if you want to set some rules or automate the flow of your app according to your needs. So over here, when I click on add step, you can see there are already a set of pre-coded notes that you can use. For example, for your submission, if you want to send an email notification to some relevant team, you can configure it on the right-hand panel over here, just like a regular email. If you want to set certain conditions, you can use the if node over here. Suppose the stock of a product is running low and you want to send some kind of a notification alert. You can have a WhatsApp alert or an SMS alert to your relevant teams. If you want to set certain reminder approvals, you can click on the wait node over here. You can set the wait time or wait for a couple of days, and then you can select the approval node to send an email notification for the approval process. In this way, you can mix and match each of these nodes to automate your app. It all depends on the process flow of your app. The fourth and final step is configuring your dashboards. Over here, you can click on add charts and you can select the type of charts for your analysis, and on the right hand panel you will be able to configure it. You can also set automated reports by clicking on add report, and over here you can email it to a relevant team or a manager, CC them or give a subject name, body, and you can set the frequency at which to send the reports. It could be daily, weekly, monthly, and you can also set the time at which you want to send the report. So these are the 4 steps of configuring your application and automating it. Lastly, you can distribute the app to various users by clicking on user access, and over here on the right hand side you can type in their email ID and invite them. So over here I will select the first person, and then I can give certain permissions to what they can do with the app. So in Clappia we have a sophisticated permissions model. For example, if you want your field officers to only submit data and not make any other changes, then you can give them a submitter access. You can also give them a full data admin access if you want them to submit, view, and edit all their data. The topmost access is the app admin, who can create apps as well as make any kind of changes. You can also make your own custom permissions. If you have many users to access the app, you can always click on the option over here where you can upload your users. Now let's see what the app looks like. I'll go back to my dashboard. You can see that the Field Visit app is now available over here for me to use, and it will redirect me to the app home where the app is now live and ready to use. At any point of time, you can always go back to the design app where you can make changes to your app, and the moment you save it, you can go back to the app home and it will be reflected over here. So let me go ahead and fill in the details of this app. Over here for the email, I will only be able to type in a valid email ID as given by the error message over here. Now I can click on the blue button over here to scan a QR code for the employee ID. You can see the QR code has been scanned and the employee ID has been populated over here. Now I'll click on the visit details section. You can see the date and time has been automatically captured. Now when I click on purpose of visit as individual, nothing happens. But if I click on business, the signature block appears. That is because we have configured it as so. So I can give in a signature over here. Now I can also take a photo in real time by clicking on the button over here. And now as I scroll down, you can see the GPS location has captured my current location. You can also see that the GPS coordinates has been captured along with the address. You can also zoom in and zoom out of this map. Now I'll click on the product details section. So over here I will type in quantity as 3, price as 2000, and you can see total price is given as 6000, which is 3 into 2000, and the discounted price is minus 500, which is 5500. But if I select the quantity as 1, you can see that it says no discount. That is because we have implemented the logic. Now going to product search, over here we have interlinked the product MIS app to pull information from it. So over here when I click on it, you can see the various items that are there. So you can also type in what you need. And now you can see that the brand, user ratings and product image has been captured. This data has been pulled from the product MIS app. Now I can go ahead and make a submission. You can also view this app on the mobile version as well. So once you create your app, it will be ready to use instantly on the mobile version. So let's have a look at that. Here you can see the mobile screen with the Clappia app downloaded on it. As mentioned earlier, you can always download the Clappia app via Play Store or App Store. Now I'll go ahead and click on the Clappia app. Once it opens, you can see all the apps that you have created in Clappia, which is why you can see so many here as I have created these earlier. Let's have a look at the app I have created now. So I will then click on Field Visit. You can see that the app is now live and ready to use. So I'll go ahead and make a submission over here as well. Again, I was able to scan the QR code over here to capture the employee ID. You can see the date and time has also been automatically captured. Now if I select on business, the signature block will also appear over here. You can also see the GPS location has captured the current location as well as the GPS coordinates. Now that I have filled in all the details, you can see that the calculations has also appeared over here, as well as the data from the product MIS app. Now I can go ahead and click on Submit. You can view all your submissions by clicking on the View Submissions on your mobile app. And you can also see the previous submission that we have made on the web version. You can click on any submission to view all the details that has been captured. It is also important to note that you can make submissions in the offline mode in the mobile app. So when you are in an area without internet connection, you can make submissions, and the moment you get back the internet connection, it will be uploaded automatically in the background. Now let's go back. In the web version, if you want to view your submissions, you can click on the Submissions tab over here. And when you click on a certain submission, a right-hand panel will appear that has captured all the details. You can see that this was the details captured in the mobile app. You can also check the history of the submission by clicking on the option over here. You can see who has actually sent in the submission, or you can see who has created any changes in the submission. You can change the status of your submissions if you have the relevant permission. Right now it says submitted. You can click on this button and you can see the status we have given earlier. You can select approved or rejected, and this can also trigger automation rules like sending an email notification if you have configured it as so in your workflows. You can also view the PDF that you have configured for every submission. If you want to download a particular submission or all the submissions that you might have, you can click on the option over here and it will download in a CSV format. We also have an advanced filtering system in which you can filter out your fields. For any block that you are stuck on, you can always click on the More section and go to the Help guide over here on the left-hand side. We also have something called as App Templates, where you can search from a list of templates that is readily available. When you click on it, you can import a template and then you can configure those templates as per your requirements. So this is how you create apps in Clappia. If you have any queries regarding the configuration of your apps or any features in Clappia, you can always request support by clicking on the option over here, or you can email us directly to support@clappia.com and we will be happy to assist you. Thank you.